What's up, everybody? This is Her to You, and thank you for tuning in to Wednesday's Random. So, on today's Wednesday Random, we're about to get a little bit deep with it. And like I stated in my post and my story and everything, I am going to be discussing the making of Her, which is moi. And I'm going to bring that to you and let you guys know exactly why I chose childhood trauma to be a part of my mission, to be my mission, right? So, so this may or may not be a long video, depending like how much I can take. So, like I said, with Her to You, I'm his first client, right? Before I can bring my story or help somebody, right? Before I can help somebody with their story, with what they have been, been going through in their childhood and how to deal with it properly, I have to go through the process. I have to go through that process, and I have to be transparent and let you guys know that I, for real, am a part. Unfortunately, you know what I'm saying, I am a part of that tribe. I don't wish it on no one at all. And if you're currently, and I don't know kids are watching this, but even as a parent, as a mother, if you're watching this and you're putting your children through that, sis, you tried it. But anyways, you need to seek help for what you're going through, what may be causing that, because it's just going to be it's going to be a repeating cycle. Your child's going to do it to their children and everything else. So it's time to break that cycle, break that generational curse, so that hurt, that pain, that anger, whatever, doesn't flow on to other people, to generational, to generations. So, okay. So, let's see, where do I start? I was raised in Colorado. I was raised by a single mother. I have two sisters on my mom's side, and I have two brothers on my dad's side. My father was actually in prison. He was incarcerated till I was like 14. But I didn't really have a relationship with him. I didn't have a relationship with him really till I was like 20 something. I was in my 20s. I had already had my daughter. And that's when we kind of started. It was right after, matter of fact, my grandmother passed. And my dad kind of came along and stepped up, and we built a relationship. But I didn't like him at all. Like, I didn't like nobody. Because of what I was going through, I could not stand family. The only people that I loved was my grandma and, well, my grandparents and my uncle. But my grandma was everything. My grandma and my uncle, but my grandma was just, she was like, if I didn't have her, I could say this wholeheartedly. If I didn't have my grandma, I wouldn't be here today. I know that for a fact. If I didn't have my grandma, then I would have committed suicide. I'm going too far, but I attempted suicide when I was, I think I was in like 8th grade. But I've attempted suicide twice that anyone knows of, right? When I was younger. Like, I yeah, I did, which is wild. But I did. But because of her, it really was because of her that, one, I didn't go through with it. Two, I was talked out of it. Like, I was talked out of it. So, all right, so let's see. I was raised with my two sisters. And my mother she was abusive, like all the way around. Like she was verbally abusive, she was mentally abusive, and she was physically abusive, right? So I'm in my late 30s. So back in the day, I'm an 80s baby. So back in the day, like, you know, black people, they punish their kids, like belts. And I know about belts. I know about um, switches, extension cords, all of that, right? But that's if you did something. Like if you got in trouble at school, or if the neighbors seen you doing something that y'all wasn't supposed to be doing, or called your parent or something like that, right? But this wasn't that. This was she was angry, or she was upset something happened. It could be anything, right? It could have been, it could be alcohol. Like it's alcohol, it's I don't know. The sky's blue. It's nighttime. I don't know. Like because we were abused, um we try not to do anything. It wasn't until I got older that I had kind of a fuck it attitude, because it was like, if I'm going to if I'm going to get hurt anyways, then I'm gonna kind of just do whatever I do, do whatever I want to do. And I got that way when I was like 16, right? So um I don't, like, when I try to think about my mother, I cannot think of any good times. Like, I can't think of a time when I was happy as a kid, like for real, other than going to my grandma's house, right? Um, Other than going to like my grandma's house, like I was, I was happy, but I wasn't happy. I was a really depressed, very sad kid. But I learned how to mask it. I learned how to mask it because, in black households, everything's a secret. So you're terrified to tell. Even though literally I'm going to school with black eyes, busted lips, gashes in my neck. I can't take off my clothes for gym, so I'm getting in trouble at school, right? Um, all of that. I'm coming to school with all of that. And nothing is being said, nothing is being done. I feel like my family did know. I feel like my family did know. And when I say my family, I'm saying my mother's side, because and this is wild because I'm trying to remember a lot of things. And that's one thing about trauma too. It blocks your memory from certain things, right? So with my dad's side of the family, it was only like certain people that we were kind of around. We weren't really allowed, or it just I don't want to say we wasn't allowed to be around that side of the family, but I think because my father was incarcerated, that we just wasn't really around that part of the family unless it was like a holiday or something like that. So me personally, I didn't really get to know. I mean, I did and I didn't, because I just couldn't stand family. That's how I was when I was younger. I could not stand family, because I'm like, I know y'all know what's going on and y'all not doing anything. Like, I give grace to some, because I'm like, they didn't know, they knew what they were told, but a lot of them didn't know. But my mother's side of the family, I know they knew, and they did nothing about it. Um, and two of my aunties actually participated one time. One of my aunties participated physically. One of my aunties participated verbally. So like I mean, because we were, oh my God, it's so conflicting, right? This is so conflicting because because of my grandma and her, and just her, the way that she kind of raised me, um I have respect. Like, I can be in the same room, I can be respectful and everything, but I know that with me going through this process, like, conversations definitely is going to be different, because I've just allowed a lot of things to just be said, just outlandish, that I'm like, really? But I've shut up because I have to respect my aunties and uncles, right? But oh, and then there is an uncle that definitely held me down. I can't say for, and this is wild though, but I can't say for my sisters. I don't know. I know he was a great uncle. Like, he's everyone's favorite uncle. I know that. But he was really a great uncle, and he tried to protect me the best way he could. Like, he would not allow none of that mess to happen in front of his face. Like, he did not play about that. And that's who had my back. I'm not gonna lie. That's who had my back. And my grandmother, she tried. My grandma, she definitely tried, but like, my mom would cuss her out. And then, like, I wouldn't even be able to see my grandma. So like, uh so mm, excuse me, y'all. Give me just a second. It's really hard for me to talk about my grandma, because that was like my angel. And I know that she's the only reason why I'm alive. Like, other thing, God, of course, but back then I didn't really, like, even though, like, my grandpa was a pastor and we was all up in the church all the time, I didn't really trust or really believe God, because we in Sunday services singing God loves little children, and then we leave in Sunday service and getting tortured. So, sir, where is you at? So that's how I felt growing up. So this is, this is my life. This is what I'm going through. And the only thing that I used to tell myself is, if I get older, if I get older, then I'm going to be out of here and no one would ever hear from me again. That was the extent of my dreams. That was the extent of my dreams, is to get older and to be outie and turn my back on everybody. Like, that was my goal. Um I think, man, I even as I sit here and talk about this, like, in my head, the only thing I can think about is, like, why did I go through that? Like, why did I go through that? Like, why did we go through that? Like, why did that happen to us? But with going through counseling and let me tell you something. I have went to multiple. I've sat on multiple people's couches. I have. I've tried. And in the beginning, like, I didn't know what to expect, right? I didn't know what to expect, but I just really wanted a miracle. Like, I wanted them to be like, take 2 pills, take 2 of these, do 5 jump jacks, spin around 3 times, and then says you're gonna be healed. I really did. I'm not gonna lie. I really expected a miracle. I did, and it never felt good. It never felt good um to say that. Like, it never felt good to tell my story. It never felt good to tell my story, because one, it felt like I was betraying my mother, like exposing a secret. that was supposed to stay hidden. And then it didn't feel good. I felt sick as a dog. Like after, especially when I got, like older, like I think I was in between like 18 and in my 20s, like before I had my daughter. And I had my daughter when I was 23, that I really tried, right? Going to different people. And it was horrible. Like and then just to like see their face after you done got done telling all this stuff, and they like, oh, well, and you like, you know what, I'm just go ahead and leave, because forget everything you just heard. I'm out of here. Like, I'm super out of here. And I did that for a while because it just felt horrible. It felt like I was sick to my stomach telling that. And then all I would end up doing is crying. And getting pissed. Like, I can't believe somebody did me. Like because you want to defend yourself. Like, especially now that you are older, you like, what's up? Like what's up? You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, you like, I really just want to know why. Like, I really just want to know why you would do someone like that. Why you would just, I know I should have brought some tissue. Why you would just take why you would just take a child's like hopes and dreams, and I've never experienced motherly love. Like, I don't know what that's like. Excuse me. Hold on, y'all. I knew I should have brought some tissue. And to think, like, when I was born, first of all, I was born premature. Like, I could have died in the hospital. I was like 2 to 4 pounds. I was in an incubator for I didn't leave the hospital until I was like 6 months. Like, I had all of these issues when I was a baby, and then to think that you went through all of that with me to only abuse me. Like, if that was a case, and that's what I used to be like with God, like, if that was a case, why wouldn't you just let me go? Like, why couldn't I just go on to heaven immediately from the gate, if this was a life that I was going to be living? Because when you're a kid, this is what I'm going through. You don't see beyond life. You don't see a future. You don't see your hopes. And you don't have hopes. And you don't have dreams. And you don't have expectation to have a happy life. You don't. For me, I didn't. I didn't have an expectation of living a happy life. Like, how are you freaking 10 and you're praying for peace? You're young, you're a whole kid, and you just asking God to just, if you really love the children, God, give me peace. This is annoying. Like, this is, like, for example, like when we would be away, like the several times that, like, for instance, like if I would go to my grandma's house, it was just like a breath of fresh air to just relax and then just be you, be able to play, be able to be a kid, right? And when she would come pick us up, or really when my grandma would go drop us off, it was like the fear was just so paralyzing. Like, as soon, like, I would be in the car with my grandma crying, like, Grandma, I do not want to go. I don't want to go in here. Like, I don't want to go in here. And I would have to go, because that's your mom. So I would have to go, and it was just scary. Like, it was like an aura. It was just like it was like evil. It was, when you walked in on top of that, we had like dark furniture all the damn time. So it was just like a presence that was just horrible. You never knew what was going to happen. Like, you never knew what to expect. And learning, like I always, like, the crazy thing is, I got accustomed to the taste of blood. Isn't that wild? Like, I got accustomed to tasting my own blood. So finally, I knew something had to change when I had my child. So when I was pregnant, I purposely did not want to know what I was having, because I was terrified. Like, I was like, please don't let it be girl, 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 please don't let it be girl. Because I just was like, I'm gonna do the same thing. Like, I don't know, I just had that on me. Like, I'm gonna be the same person, I'm gonna be the same person, like, please. And then when I had my daughter, and it was like, it was a girl, y'all, I didn't even want to touch her. I didn't. But like, I'm young too, right? So and my sister knew, my older sister, she knew I didn't want to have a girl. So she was there, and when they said it was a girl, she just looked at me like, it's a girl. And I was like, oh. And you have to put the baby on your chest, because you have to give, you have to warm them up with your body, and I didn't want to, right? So just ignorant. I just think about stuff like, but I did not know. Like, I was terrified, right? So they were like, you have to hold your child. And I was like, mm-mm. They was like, ma'am. I'm like, wrap her up, take her in whatever room y'all going to. I'm not touching her. They was like, no, you have to wrap her up. So immediately when Stink was put on my chest, like, I just instantly connected with my daughter. And I just was like, I have to protect you from me. Like, I love you so much, but is my love enough? Is my love enough to protect you from me? So that was like the first indication when I was like, dude, you got to get some help. But I didn't. I didn't get any help. I didn't get any help. And me and my daughter, we have been up and down, because I've tried to overcompensate from my abuse. And I won't say I didn't properly raise her, because we don't all have, there's no parenting handbook. I did the best that I could, but I feel like I overly did things because I didn't want, like, she was disciplined, you know what I'm saying? But matter of fact, I'm the only person that actually disciplines children. Like my siblings do not discipline their like not discipline in the sense of like they're not disciplined, but like spankings, like no, they no. So, but it wasn't until not it literally was until like a couple years ago when I first moved. When I first moved to Georgia, did I accept like okay, I cannot keep going through this because I'm seeing the signs, I'm seeing things like, and I'm just like, I keep allowing my past and my childhood to dictate what is going on in my life, like my decisions, my relationships, like everything. I'm seeing how this is spilling out, but I'm just so scared. I'm in fear of having to deal with what is in me, because one, I feel like I shouldn't have to deal with it. I feel like I shouldn't have to deal with it because I was a kid, right? I'm like, I'm a kid. This shouldn't be put on me to have to deal with. Two, I was in fear of the unknown. Like, I'm like, what's gonna happen if I can't blame her? Then I guess I gotta deal with these are my decisions, right? So that was my reason. And then it became like, I don't want the same relationship I have with my mother that I have with my own daughter. Like, I don't want to keep that thing going, right? So I found a great therapist out here. Actually, she's in Fayetteville. And I was terrified to talk to her. I was so terrified. And like, I kept laughing. Like, that's my defense mechanism, right? Even though I love to laugh anyways, but like, I laugh, right? Because this is what I've built, right? And you're not gonna see me cry. Like, no one is gonna victim me like that. I'm not about to be crying. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just gonna laugh it off. So when I was telling her like stuff that I went through my childhood, and I'm laughing, she's like, but she just caught it. She caught it. She like called me all the way out. Like, why are you laughing? I was like, I don't know. I don't know why I'm laughing. And then I told her, like, I'm laughing because I will not shed a tear. Like, I would not shed a tear. And she was like, no, it's okay for you to cry. It's okay for you to cry. And the reason why I say I'm not going to shed a tear is because, like, crying, like, when I was, in my mother's home getting abused, like, I feel like she got pleasure from you crying. Like, from you crying, she received pleasure from it. And then she would mock you through it. Like, you'll be like, why are you doing this to me? Why are you, like, in the midst of it? Like, while this is going on, you getting hit. And I'm not talking about, because I got hit with everything, right? I got hit with everything, but she really started putting hands and feet on me. She really started putting hands and feet on me at a young age. Like, I've been knocked unconscious several times. I'm sorry, y'all. And you'll be like, why? Like, I ain't did nothing. Like, why are you doing this to me? And she will like be mocking you, like, oh, why? You want to know why? Because motherfucker, and you still ain't did nothing. But because you even said why, like, I would end up with a busted lip, like, or being choked out, like. So I said, oh, you not gonna see me cry. And I remember one time, I feel like I made a deal with the devil when I was like 16. I was like 16 when I was like 16 when I started fighting back, like not physically fighting, even though one time I did fight back. I did fight back one time because I just couldn't do it. But luckily there was somebody there to save me, because she probably would have really killed me. But when I was 16, I really do feel like I had this whole attitude that was like I said, fuck you, like, what's up? You know what I mean? So I wouldn't show her defeat. So one, she would just kick my ass even more, right? But two, I saw like the fear in her, like, oh, she done, like, she would call my peoples and be like, she would call my grandpa, because my grandpa was a pastor, and she like I was possessed or something. You know what I'm saying? I was possessed. And yeah, she at one point sorry, yeah. At one point, she like really had my family thinking I was like crazy, like because my sister at this time, my older sister, she was gone and she was at college, and she had everybody thinking like I was crazy. So a lot of people turned their back on me. A lot of my family turned their back. They turned their back on me. You know, they was, you know, oh, you disrespectful and you this and you that. And I'm like, at this point, like it's been years. It's been double digits of abuse, and I know y'all know. And because she's telling this story, then it's me. So like, yeah, a lot of my family turned on me, and that's really when I was like, whatever. And I just lost so much. Like, I had so much going on for myself at that time. Like, I was doing good in high school. I was running track. I was having some good seasons. Like, I was doing good. And I gave all that up. I dropped out of high school. Like, I just gave all of that up. I couldn't take it anymore. It was just, everything was too much, and school just was no longer a safe haven. Like, school, you know, I was a smart student. I was very studious when it came to school, and it was like an escape. School was an escape. School and books, I used to love to read when I was younger, because it was just an escape from my reality. But after a while, school was not answering them questions, and I just I just gave up. I just couldn't do it anymore. I had no more fight, and then I didn't have no one in my corner at this point but my grandma and my uncle. But like, I was kind of, at one point, like, I was like banned from going to my grandma's house, because she's like, if you go to your grandma's house, like, she threatened me, like, she was gonna do something to my grandma if I went to my grandma's house. So, you know, I'm not gonna let nothing happen to my grandma. So I'm gonna just take I'm just gonna go ahead and take the loss. Like, I'm not gonna go over there. So And then at this point, like, my father was out, but I couldn't tell him nothing. I couldn't tell him nothing. Like, I remember one time, and then she was just so mean and bitter about that relationship anyway. So like she would have me call him, to tell him like whatever I did that day or whatever, just to make her feel good for kicking my ass. You know what I'm saying? Just to justify it. It could be anything she could think of. And so like she's right next to me while I'm talking to him with a menacing face, like a menacing, threatening face, well, of course, what am I gonna say? But I can't say like, yo, dad. And then I didn't trust him no way. Like, he wasn't there. He was gone. Like, you don't even know what your kids is going through. You know what I'm saying? So at that time, I didn't care about him either, because, sir, you have no idea what your children are going through. And so what am I going to tell you? Like, what am I going to tell you? So, but I couldn't, even if I wanted to, I couldn't, because she would be right there and just looking at you like, yeah, say something. So, and that's what she'll be doing too. Like, and then what's so wild is she been called you. I mean, she been put him on the phone like, oh, I'm kicking her out. Because that was another thing too, especially when, because he ended up living like kind of around the corner from us. So she would threaten to be kicking me out knowing she's not kicking me out, because who else is she gonna beat on? So she'll be like, threatening me while I'm on the phone with him. And then I'm like, yes, sir. And then, of course, he like, all right, love you. So you like, love you too. So you get off the, oh, you love that mother, and that. And then and then I would get my ass whooped again, because of the fact that you caught him. Like, what am I supposed to say? Like, oh my God. Like, oh my God. So it was a lose-lose situation. If you try to make her happy, it was ridiculous. I mean, it was just a lose-lose situation. Like, so, no, please. I couldn't stand my father. I love him now, but I couldn't stand him. Because I'm like, you whack. But everybody was whack to me. Like, everybody was sorry. Like, y'all are sorry to allow this to happen. So, like I said, when I got to the therapist out here, and she really made me understand. Like, she showed so much compassion. Like, I remember her saying like after I told her what happened, right? She didn't have this like, oh, I can't help you look. Like, she just had this really compassionate look. And she was like, you know what? I just want to tell you, she was just like, I just want to talk to that little girl. And I want to tell you that I'm sorry for failing you, for the people that failed you, for the people that failed to help you. And y'all, I was like I had to get out of there. Like, I had to get out of there, because I was so like shocked by what she said that I was like, and I was like, I gotta go. So when I left, and I went to my car. I called my sister, because them are the only people that truly understand the depth of everything that I've been through, the trauma that I've been through. So my sister, I was telling my sister, I was like, yo, this lady just apologized to the little girl. Like, that's the first time. I was at this point, again, I'm in my 30s. That was the first time I ever got an apology. Ever. That was the first time I ever, somebody recognized, like, what I had been through. And so I just broke down in tears. I'm just in the car crying. And I just knew she was it. Like, I knew she was it. And from there, like, she she really helped me. She really, 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 really helped me. She really put me on this path. And even with my daughter, like we used to do where I would go 1 week, my daughter would go 1 week, and then we would go together, literally. And I have to credit her for our relationship, building back our relationship, and being able to talk to each other and deal with each other, because I had to learn that, I had to learn a lot of things over or from the start that I didn't learn, right? So that is the reason why, like, that's the reason why I'm on this path, because when I say healing equals renewal, it's that renewal that, like I said before, that your mind, your body, your spirit truly deserves, so that you can really find out. Like, you can never say you want to be at your higher self and you want to know what your higher self is if you don't deal with the trauma of the past. And my story is my trauma is really my childhood. There's no other trauma technically that I've been through that did not come from the association of my childhood. So that's the first thing that I have to take care of. I have to take care of that, because I don't know where, I can't give up on myself and whatever my dreams and my desires are. Like, I really am starting, I really love me now. Like, I really love me. I love the person that I am. I appreciate who I am. And it's a good feeling. And I want people to know the feeling, because I know what it's like. I know what it's like. I know what it's like to be on only that side. I have my ups and downs, for real. Like with this, I know that as soon as I cut this video off, I'm probably gonna cry and I'm gonna need a nap. Like, I'm gonna need a nap. So I'm gonna need a nap after this. I already know. But I'm here now. Like, I have arrived in the fact that what I'm saying is that I am going to tell my truth, regardless of whoever gets upset by it, gets offended by it. It's my story. And I have been living under this cloud of secrecy, protecting my mother for so long that it's not that. And that's another thing too. Like, I don't hate my mother anymore. I'll say that. I definitely have forgiven her for what she's done. I haven't spoke to my mother in years, actually. But I would love to really develop a relationship with my mother, because it is my mom, and I have a love and hate relationship with that "it is your mom" thing. But that's a story for another time. We will definitely get back to that. But one thing that the therapist said to me is that made me show compassion is for my mother. Is she said, "Well, what did your mom go through? Like, do you know what your mom went through?" I'm like, "No, actually, no, I don't." And I thought about that for like weeks. Like, at first I was like, I don't care what she went through, because I don't care. Because look what I've been through. Look what I went through. Look what I went through. But I learned how to take myself out of that victim role, and to be like, you know what did she go through? What did she go through? So that made me show compassion to the fact that, you know what, my mom might have really been through something. You know what I'm saying? And she just wasn't able to. She did what she did what she did. So I'm not sure if my mother is in a place for us to have a conversation. And I I have a nightly prayer. I do. I have a nightly prayer that, you know, that that God gives us time. You know what I mean? Because so much time has passed. And and I know my mom is going through it right now. But I just she doesn't know my child. She doesn't know my child. She doesn't really know me. Like, I don't know my mom. I have no idea. If you ask me what my mom's favorite color was, her favorite holiday, her favorite day, like, I even forget her birthday. Like, I even forget her birthday, like, every year. Like, somebody would say, like, I just thought about something. So, I think the reason why I forget her birthday is it might be in spite, because when I was younger, she would deliberately forget my birthday. Like, deliberately. Like, she wouldn't even say, like, happy birthday to me or whatever. And then, like, when I got into, like, 18, because I left the home, I left my mom's house when I was, like, 18 or whatever, like 17, 18. She wouldn't even call me for my birthday. Like, oh, man, y'all. It's just, it's wild. Excuse me. It's really, really wild, the life that I lived at a very young age, and the things that just mean. And I've experienced a cruel world at a young age, and still, like, in spite of, like, I I smile, and I encourage everything, like, because that's just, I'm learning that's who I am, and I'm accepting that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm accepting me being me, period. Like, period. So I used to, like, even, I used to desire um a mother figure, but um that desire definitely had people take advantage of me. Definitely had people take advantage of me. So, um, I don't desire a mother figure. I do not, because I have a mother. And I'm not accepting it to be just whatever it is. I'm not, but I'm in a place where, because I'm in the, I'm saying, I'm in the middle of healing and healed. so so you might not want to say some things to me. So I'm not in a position, to be very honest, I'm not in a position to take her if she's not willing to be what's up. Like, if she's not willing to really, if she's not in a place to really have a real conversation and let someone talk, because that's another thing. So if she's not in a real position to hear the truth, then I can't speak with her, because I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet. I know what it is to do the work for myself, to make to understand what I've been through and heal from it, so that I don't pass that on to my child. But I'm whenever I'm with her, I'm her child. I'm still a child, so I kind of still feel that way. And I still have that why, like, why. So I wouldn't be able to be in a position, and I know why, because one time my grandma tried. She really tried. She was like, she kind of confronted my mother, like, why do you do, why? And my mother tried to act like like it didn't happen. Mind you, it was going on, like it didn't happen. And then she says, and then this is what she said to me that just crushed me. And this is also what I'm dealing with in therapy. Like, she was like, well, whatever I did, you deserved it. And so that was it for me. And that was like the turning point for me. Cause it was just like, oh, really? Oh, okay. Okay. And that was it. And I mean, I was like at her knee. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't literally, but figuratively, like I wasn't close. I was at her knees. This was like that last, like, just please stop. And please change. And please be different. Soon as she said, and whatever I did, and if no, she said, and if I did that, you deserved it, then that's when it was like, if you don't get yourself up off this ground, if you don't put this armor on you and chuck this person the deuces because you never gonna get what you need. And that's when I became a beast. That's when I became a beast. A beast. That's when I was putting fear in her eyes, like, I don't know what this girl gonna do. I don't know what this girl gonna do. Like, and anyone can get it. And anyone can get it. Like, I was so, my mouth was raw. My mouth was raw. My mouth was raw. And boom, she'll just punch. I'm like, if you gonna, I used to just be like, if you are going to hit me, oh, I'm gonna give you something. I'm gonna give you something. I'm gonna give you something. And I wouldn't cry. And I wouldn't cry at all. I wouldn't flinch. So oh my God. Like, the only time I would cry, and I remember my brother-in-law has been there through the most. I love him to death. Because I remember he would be there and he would be like, Shanice, just stop. And I'm like, nah, I ain't did nothing. She's not gonna keep putting her hands on me. No, I'm not. He'd be like, just stop. And I wouldn't know what was going on because I'm just numb. I just became so numb. I know I was just filled with hate. I know I was. You know what I'm saying? So I would go to my room or go to the bathroom, and my face, my face would be cut up. My lips would be busted. My eyes, my face would be all puffy. I just would start crying. Like, look at my face. And then it would be wild because I'll be crying and them tears will be burning. Ooh, my face and my neck. Because I would have gas. She used to like grab and then like pull, like dig her nails and like grab your neck like that, or just have you just hemmed up. And I'm talking about like I probably should get like a CT scan of my brain, like for real, because I know that thing was knocked all over. Like I said, I've been knocked unconscious several times. So that would be the only time that I would cry. Like, look at my face. And I would still have to go to school, or I would have to stay home, depending on how my face looked, how, what I looked like. You know what I mean? And so like I said, guys, I'm going to end this part here. Like I said, I plan on sharing my story soon, very soon, in some details. But yeah, so this is I just wanted to come on and give and give you guys a part of her. Like, when I say her in the making, like, this is that healing equals renewal. This is in the making of that. Like, my journey has been laid out and transparent throughout all of my Wednesdays Random. I give a little piece of my background and the things that I've been through. But this right here is a little bit more, you know what I mean? Especially when I came out the video to say, literally said childhood trauma. Like, I want you to know that I really am the first case. I really am, you know, and I'm not proud to be the first case. I'm not proud to be in the tribe. I'm not. I wish I did not have this story. But at the same time, I'm owning my story because it's mine. It is mine. It's what is going to propel me to where I need to be, for real. I'm understanding that this is part of my journey. This is part of my road. Just because it started off rocky and painful doesn't mean it has to end that way. It's important for me to set up a future for my daughter in my future, you know what I'm saying? And anything that comes out of her or from her own life, her own future, I want that to look totally different than what mine's look like. And I know that there are plenty of women who have similar stories or even worse stories than I. And when you become an adult, for some reason, no one has really compassion for you or what you've been through. Like, girl, you got to do what you got to do. You know what I mean? Like, that be our thing. Like, you grown now. So but that thing truly lives in you, and you have to find you have to heal from it. Like, we have to start normalizing us healing from our past, us exposing those secrets, us living in our truths, period. Because you just don't want to, and for the people that I'm talking to that have been through this or been through worse, y'all know what it's like in the middle of the night. You know what it's like to really deal with this, because it creeps out. It creeps out in your life. Memories. I used to be tortured by dreams. Like there was one year where I could not go to sleep because I would dream my past. I would dream my trauma, and I would wake up so scared. I would wake up, I'm talking about stuck in fear. As a grown woman, stuck in fear. And just that pittiness and that hurt, that pain. It is a physical pain that just, it's a wound, and it's time for those things to heal, for those things to truly heal, and for you to learn how to tell your story, live in your truth, so you can live your life. Like, this life is so short. And like I said, I'm in my late 30s, and I've allowed this thing to take a whole toll on me. I've allowed this thing to ruin relationships, personal relationships, friendships, just a lot. I've missed opportunities because of this thing, like because of what I've allowed this thing to do, and that's my decision. It ain't got nothing to do with her at this point. This is my decision. So, like I said, this is it. This is her, and I'm bringing her to you. And this is another Wednesdays Random, guys. So I thank you guys for tuning in. I'm so thankful. You guys have no ideas how many guys and girls y'all pour into me. Y'all let me know. Y'all encourage me to keep going, to keep telling my story, to be honest, to be transparent, to just do me. And I'm just so thankful for that. And I also want to give glory to God, because we really had to build a relationship. You know, we really had to build a relationship, and he really had to give me understanding, and I just appreciate where I'm at in life. I do appreciate my growth. I appreciate the things that I'm able to understand now, to connect with. And I want to give that. I want someone else to feel that, because I know what it's like on that other side. I know what it's like. And like I said, I have my ups and down days, but the great part is knowing what I know. Like knowing what I know and understanding and being like determined to keep going. That makes those days easier to take on. Every time it makes it easier to take on, because God gives me the strength. I learn these, you know what I'm saying? I learn lessons. I just don't allow things to just pass me by now without me taking them in and understanding how they impact my life, and what I need to do to make sure I don't fall into those same situations again. Because one thing about the devil, he doesn't do anything different. He just recycles your same pain over and over and over again. So he just creates something for you. So now I'm not about to let you play in my face like that, you know. So it's gonna have to be, you're gonna have to holler at me in newer heights. You're not gonna keep getting me with the same thing over and over and over and over again. That's just a fool at this point, you know what I mean? Going into the same, that's insanity. That's exactly the definition of insanity. I'm just keep bumping my head in the same spot over again. Nah, that's not about to happen anymore. So again, like I said, thank you for tuning in to another Wednesday's Random. I am bringing her to you, letting you know how my life has been affected by childhood trauma, and the healing and the journey that I am on to restore me, right? So please like, share, comment. Let me let me know how you guys feel about this episode of Wednesday's Random. Good night, or goodbye, or good morning. Oh, afternoon.